Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be learning how to make a wooden sign in Autodesk Inventor to be cut out with a CNC router. We're not going to go through the tool paths in this video. We'll save that for a different video for probably a different group of kids than this one is intended for. So let me share my screen and we can get started. So you're going to use one of my computers to log into Autodesk Inventor. Now, I have Autodesk Inventor 2019. You probably have a different version. It's going to be slightly different look to each one of those. They kind of change it up every year, which I don't know why, but if it looks a little bit different, that's okay. You're still looking for the same things, okay? You're going to go New, and again, this is going to look different. Mine, I'll go into Mesmer and then part file, but essentially you're just going to go New part file.ipt is the type of file that we want. It should be in inches. So if you bring this one up, you don't want the sheet metal one. You just want the standard. And then if you want to just go into English right away, standard inches IPT, that's what we're looking for. Okay. So that I know that will look different for each group of students here. So now we need to create the board that we're going to eventually cut out the letters on. All right. So I'm going to start a sketch, and it's very important that I click on the right things here. So start a 2D sketch, and then if I open up this origin right there, you guys can look at this here for a second. I want to be on the XY plane. Okay, very, very important that we do that. If you mess it up, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but it's very nice that we have this done. So clicking on the XY plane is as simple as going right there and then clicking. Okay. And then from here, what we're going to do is we are going to make a 12 by 18 board. Okay, and you'll see how this comes out. So I'm just right-clicking, going OK. So what I did is I should back up and do that again. I started with a rectangle. I go to the origin point. Click on it, wait till it turns green because it'll be right at the origin, then that's very important. And now notice I have two options for length and width, essentially. So what I want right here as it looks is a width of 12 inches for my board. Even it should be whatever board you have. So if it's not 12 inches wide, don't put that in there. But I'm just going to put something in just to have you guys take a look. 12 inches and then by 18 inches long. And again, you guys will probably have something different. Again, this is just an example of what to do. So now I'm just going to double click my mouse here, the scroll wheel, which zooms me all the way out. So now look how my board is, right? So this is probably the left-hand side of my board, and this is the right-hand side. So if you have, let's say, a 4-inch wide board, you would go 4 for where I have my 12. And then however long that you have, probably 18, 24 inches, however long it's going to be. Okay, you guys decide that. From here, I'm going to go to extrude, click on it. It should automatically find, notice it pops out with the third dimension, which is the Z axis. Okay, I do not want to pop out this way. I want to go over here and click direction 2. I want it to pop back into the negative Z space, and that's because it works well that way for my CNC router. Here we should have anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to an inch. So however thick your board is, this is where you're going to put it in. So I'm going to put, for me, 0.75. Okay. And there's my board. It's really simple. It's right there. I'm going to put some words on this board. Okay. I'm going to go start a 2D sketch. I'm going to go right here. Now my board, I'm looking at the left-hand side right here. So I want to change up its orientation. I'm going to come over to my view cube and I'm going to click on this button right here, which just changes it for me. Okay. From here, I'm going to put my text on. So putting text on can be a little tricky. You got to play around with it a little bit until it fits your board. But I can click text, and then what I do is I make a box. Once I make a box, and I release the left click button, you can see all my options. Now the ones that are really important are right here. I'm in Tahoma. Let's say I want to do something else. Let's say I want to do instead Times New Roman. But here I select my word height. Okay, that's very important, my letter height. So here I'm going to do like a 3-inch letter height because my board's 12 inches wide. That's really big. If you have something, less wide than 12 inches, you're probably going to want to have that change. But there's some tricky parts to this. So I'm going to type in ora et labora, and notice everything that means prayer and labor in Latin. You'll notice it goes really, really huge. Okay, just scrolling up so you can see all that. If I click OK, it should put it on there, and it puts it on there the wrong way. Great. I'm going to go right click and OK, because what I want to do is I want to extend the window on this guy. I can see it right here, and I can extend this. I want ora and et to be on the same line, and there I got it. Okay. And then now what I want to do is I want to rotate it. So I'm going to go to the rotate tool right here. It has already selected my letters. If it didn't, I could just click on them. And then just go to select over here. And all you got to do is click. And then you should just rotate it 90 degrees. So notice it lets me do this. It should click right away to 90 degrees. If it doesn't, just type in 90 and hit enter. Right click. Okay, and then I can click and drag this wherever I want. Now I picked what probably looks like a really good size for this board, but I'm going to show you how to change the letter height here really easily. Although it seems like it should be really easy, it's not. So if I double click into it, just a regular click, now you can see where everything is. I'm going to highlight it all. If I don't highlight it all, I'm not changing the letter height. So now if I go over here, I go 3.5, hit enter, now it changes everything. Okay. So whereas if I would have gone in there, and this is what a lot of people do, they'll double click in, they won't select anything, and then they'll just type in 3.5. They'll hit OK, and then they'll go, well, nothing changed. That's right, because you didn't select anything to be changed. All right, so just watch yourself there. Okay. Now a couple things that we could do from here. Let me just show you really easy way. Just click finish sketch. And now if I want to extrude those letters in, I'm just going to hit the extrude button. Click on the letters themselves. They default to extrude out, and my default is a 0.75 right now. I want them to extrude in by just 1/4 of an inch, so 0.25. Enter. Okay, and actually it says, oh wait, it's not working. Why? Why didn't it work? Let's try this again. I will show you. Because we were on join, and I want to be on cut. If I hit cut, I hit the letters, I go 0.25. Now notice everything's fine, and when we go OK, it cuts those letters out. Okay. So there that is. Now the walls are straight on here, and that's how it's going to be. Now, depending on how we cut it on the CNC machine, the walls of the letters won't be straight, and it'll look pretty nice. That is one very simple way of doing this. Okay. There is another way, however, and I want to show you that. Okay, so I would be done, and I'd give this to myself, Mr. Spaeth, and I would put the tool paths down, and we get this set up on the CNC. However, there is a different way to do this, and I want to show you that. So I'm just going to go back a couple steps. Okay, so now we're in our sketch, and I'm just going to go over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a path all the way around my words. Okay, I want to do that at 90 degrees. And 90 degrees. I'm probably asking Mr. Spaeth, why didn't you use a rectangle? That would have been a good idea. But here's the line. I'm just showing you guys. So if I want to grab that edge, I should be able to grab that edge at some point. There it is. 90.25. You got to, there it is right there. And then right here. Shows up green. I'm going to right click and go OK. Now I want to do a couple things. Let's make this a little bit more interesting. I'm going to use an arc just to arc the sides a little bit. So when I use an arc, I need 3 points. So a starting point and end point, and then how much it should curve over. Okay. And if I want them curving the exact same amount, I'm just going to use this equals constraint. And I'm going to go equals this and that. And now they are exactly equal. Okay. I'm going to right click and go OK. However, I need to make these lines, the ones that I don't want them to cut out, I'm going to make them construction lines. So I'm just going to right click on them and click off, and then right click on this one and make them a construction line. I'm going to finish the sketch, and there is a different way that we can do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to inset this whole area. Okay, so I'm going to extrude this whole thing. So notice I'm going to click on, and it looks like that didn't come out. It didn't. I wonder what happened. So what might have happened is, oh, I see it right here. Notice this did not go. That should be right there. That's why it didn't go. If you don't have complete shape, you can't extrude it because it can't extrude lines. It needs a shape. Okay, so when I bet it's the same thing on the other side, since I pushed equals. Let's see. That one's good. That one's good. And that one's good. So I should be okay. I hit extrude. Oh, no, there it is. So now you notice how I popped this whole thing. I selected that whole thing. I want to do that for right now. I do want to cut in and go, okay. But you're going, Mr. Spaeth, what happened to your words? Don't worry, we'll get them back. I'm going to open up this extrusion. So right over here. And I'm going to right click where it says sketch 2 for me. Okay. So I'm going to go right click and I'm going to go share sketch. And now notice those words are back. I'm going to go extrude. I'm going to click the words. I'm going to join this time, so they're going to pop out by 0.25. And notice this is another way to do it, okay? So that the words pop out at you. But of course, we can't add wood onto the wood piece that you have. We have to take something away. We're essentially taking away the background in this way. So 2 ways to make it. This way is obviously going to take a little bit more time to machine out, but that's all right. It shouldn't be too bad. But whichever way you'd like, try it out. Okay. So if you have questions, please let Mr. Spaeth know. Once you have something done, make sure you save it and then you can share it with him. Okay. There should be a share button up at the top of your screens, not on mine. This version didn't have that, but on yours it does. And if you type in jspaeth@messmerschools.org, you will be able to share me your wood board cutout for me to mill up on the CNC router table. All right. I hope you have fun, and we'll talk to you later.